Hey folks, this is Denny.
And this is James from TDB, episode number 90, and we are drinking some white tea.
Yeah.
But this is not your ordinary white tea that's been freshly plucked. This is some old shit.
This is some old shit. Look at this. So, This is a white tea that's been pressed and aged. And we got this from Shang Tea. Thank you for the kind offerings, folks. So, we have never brewed this before, and there were no real brewing parameters listed on the website. So we're just going to give it a shot. We have 100 milliliter Gaiwan and 3.5 grams of dry leaf. And we're just going to heat everything up a little bit here.
Yep. So, Shang Tea, I've never actually tried any teas from them. They're I believe, based in Missouri. But supposedly they are white tea specialists.
Cool.
So they sent us a bunch of different white teas. Probably heard us pining for them, and so here we are. We're going to try them. So just a little reference point, because we talked a little bit about white teas and about the potential of aging. We had mentioned that white peony just tends to have a little bit more robustness than silver needle, and we thought it might be more appropriate for aging. And sure enough, this tea is supposedly the same leaves as the white peony king, so this is some aged white peony.
Yeah, and can't tell if that's a stem or a hair. Not the first hair I've seen in a pressed keg of tea. We'll rummage through that a little bit. The actual,
Is it breaking up?
it's not really breaking up that much.
I think we might need to do boil then, in that case. That is a hair.
We're gonna make sure this is the rinse.
Yeah, well,
And yeah, we might need to
I think we're going to need to
boil this up a little bit.
Do you want to adjust the temperature?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I was thinking we should maybe do a review of the tea kettles sometime. Just because. Oops, we never talked about it on the show before. It's nice, classic tea, white tea flavors.
Yep.
Honey. It actually smells a little herbal in a good way.
Yep.
Right?
It is releasing some of the aromas, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we'll get this nice and heated up. White tea, good white tea, I think can take boiling water. And some of the white tea teas that we had on the show and I brought onto In Between Studs do really well with boiling water. Surprisingly so. If you are drinking white tea from your local tea shop and they say to steep it for 5 minutes, probably don't use boiling water. Probably don't use a lot of leaf.
Yeah.
If you're gonna follow those instructions.
Yeah, if you're gonna boil, use boiling water for white tea, you're most likely gonna be reducing the steep time at the very least.
Yeah. So, and we'll see. The leaves look nice and big. We are getting some stems in there, which is a little bit atypical of white tea. So it'll be interesting to see how this tastes, if it has any effect on it at all. Yeah, looks nice.
Cool.
Atypical in the sense that usually white tea is really fluffy and hairy.
Yeah, maybe
and childlike.
We'll see what this looks like once we hit it with some more water and that breaks up a little bit more.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and for pressed teas like this, your first steeping, if it's not with hot water and the leaves haven't opened up very much, will be dramatically different than your second steeping, which hopefully has opened up at that point.
So. I've actually heard of some people brewing compressed tea, just with hitting it with boiling water to start off with, then slowly adjusting that water temperature downwards as you get to the third or the fourth steep.
Yeah, totally.
Is that coming apart?
Good agitation here, but it looks like it is.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rinse or a steep?
I think this will be a rinse still.
Okay.
We're trying to just really open up the leaves here. And, yeah, looks like it's nice and golden liqueur at this point, too. Give that a nice smell.
Yeah, nice. It's starting to get a little bit broken up. Interesting. A lot of sweetness coming off of it.
smells great.
Honey sweetness.
Yeah, it smells a lot like honey. I agree, that's the typical white tea sweetness that you'll get. And you can definitely see the age on this. You kind of see the browning of the leaves. Not the best pour ever, but whatever. But yeah, nice and dark liqueur.
Cool.
So this is our third soak, first steeping. Cheers. It's nice. It's light still. It's nice and crisp.
Yeah. It's a little bit tannic, interestingly, which I actually didn't expect totally.
That could be because of the heat. So what we'll do to remedy that is to just open that up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that's going to cool down the water, and that's going to lower hopefully that response. Although I'm not really getting it that much actually. So, but honey sweetness, little herbal, little grassy, well balanced. Pretty good for the first steeping.
Mm-hmm. Curious to see what this will evolve to. It's still pretty thin, so yeah. I think I don't know. I think this is the sort of tea where the first or second time we do it, we're still filling out the tea just because we haven't brewed it before.
Totally, yeah.
And so we'll see. I'm curious to see how this tea changes as we steep it out. I really don't know at this point.
Well, and it looks like if they're saying use this brews 30 plus cups with 1 ounce, which is 28 grams, then either you're using small cups or we're doing it very differently than they probably would normally. That's my guess.
So. Well, that's kind of a weird qualification to begin with, right? 1 ounce for 30 plus cups. Who knows how many sessions that includes?
That's right. Actually, good point.
So I don't know if that means like you brew 2 grams 14 times or something. Right. But I don't know. We probably are going off the norm, knowing us.
Still looking nice and thick, and the leaves have just completely opened up at this point. So they've filled the gaiwan.
Yep. Looks
probably
like
halfway up.
Looks like white peony.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit darker than normal.
And I think that's probably coming from the age.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Smells really great. Very perfumey in the nose. Floral. And nice, rich color coming out of the liqueur.
So if you had just brewed this, well, I'll ask you after the steep, but if you had just brewed this after, without knowing its story and like that it's been aged, would you even think it's aged?
Looking at the leaves?
And drinking it, yeah. I like this quite a bit better. It has more crisp edge.
Much fuller flavor, much more going on, more flowery.
A lot of sweetness on the tip of the tongue, just right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Nice swallow.
I think it's got a good creaminess too. To answer your question, looking at it from an appearance perspective, in the cup, it doesn't look like white tea. So it'd be hard to pin that down. It looks like it's either a fermented
pu'er.
It's going to be some sort of raw pu'er, maybe an oolong tea, a twisted oolong tea. From the flavor taste perspective, I don't taste the age at all, so it just tastes like a really delightful white tea to me.
Yeah. That's kind of the same for me. It's like I guess most of my aged tea experience is either oolong or pu'er, and this really doesn't fit into either of them. I'd still firmly place it as a white tea at this point. So I'm trying to, in my mind, like project out to be like, what will this tea taste like in 10 years if you're to leave it in brick form? Frankly, I just don't know.
I had tasted a white tea aged 2007 aged tea on an in-between stuff.
A white tea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't get the age on it either.
Interesting.
if I recall correctly. Of course, I'm sure someone's going to watch and be like, actually, you talked about that. But
was it a Silver Needle or?
No, it was.
Shomei?
I don't remember, frankly, at this point.
Watch the in-between episode, guys.
Sorry.
We don't want to spoil it for you guys.
Just because I'm good at tasting tea doesn't mean that I have any sort of memory at all. Yeah, I get much more of a earthy, herbal nose off of the cup. I'm sorry, the gaiwan, and really.
I think
sweet.
more of that herbaliness is making it into this cup in a very nice sort of way. This has actually been a very dynamic session, honestly.
I couldn't agree more.
Like, first we find the hair. First we steep it at low water. Second time we steep it at boiling water. And then it just keeps changing.
I'm going to assume that was one of my hairs, just for the sake of arguments. And, this is actually, I think James is spot on. The evolution and flavor or taste of this tea is pretty cool, which is fun. Part of that probably has to do with how it's produced and also how it's pressed, I think. The pressing of it probably influences the way the flavor changes. Nice. Solid. I think this sits on its own really well. I don't know if this would go well with any sort of food or anything like that. It's pretty. It's still light. It's not the strongest taste flavor wise. I think it's definitely full. It's definitely got body now as compared to the first steeping, which was very light. Mm-hmm. But this would be overpowered with some food or something like that, I would think.
Look at that left-handed gaiwan skills, guys.
See, I learned because I had to.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
Learned by necessity.
I did.
The best way to learn.
That's what happens when you have shoulder surgery. You gotta be lefty for a little while.
Yeah.
Get an iPad. What steeping is this?
Fourth.
Oh, man, we're just gonna go ham today.
Yeah.
In case you guys didn't know, that means hard as a... We're not gonna say it. Use your imagination.
I have to use my imagination too.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, full, sweet. This is actually kind of similar to the last infusion. Yeah. Nice Christmas.
I think so too. I think this will probably last for another maybe 2 max, and then it'll be pretty much done, which is great for a white tea. And yeah, if folks want to learn more about white teas, James?
Yeah, you should come check us out on tdv.org, as well as hit that subscribe button, which is straight up above. We're releasing 3 videos a week, basically, where we're bringing out lots and lots of different teas, including a lot of aged pure, and Denny's reviewing everything, which not leaves that he plucked out himself. So, literally...
Some homegrown episodes.
So, get to see some one-handed pure pick action. So please check us out, and thank you guys for watching.
Cheers.